correct your language, because, you know, there's specific types of Arabic as well. Arabic is not just one language, it's actually many different dialects of a much broader language. So you can kind of centralize for your dialect of Arabic, which we've done. Obviously biased towards Khaliji Arabic. And then I think what you can do is run it on-prem. So you can give it to government and say, hey, you know, you guys are not ready for cloud, take it, right? It's on-prem, and we've open sourced it. Everything that we've done, we've open sourced. So we're completely, you know, I guess, you can see it. It's completely transparent. And we kind of really work on responsible AI, right? So we bring all these kind of principles of responsible AI into our models. And we've set up a responsible AI foundation to work on this with us. It's independent of G42, and it's with Microsoft and MBZU AI, our local AI university. And in that, we also have a counterbalance, that basically people who can research what we should be doing and also give us more advice as we move forward. So this is on the kind of AI for good side, but we also then apply the same kind of thinking to the industrial side, right? What is the right data to bring into this? When do we bring it in? How do we make sure our model does the right things in the right way? And that's kind of essentially responsible AI by design, if that makes sense. Right. So we start off with these principles, and we've learned a lot from the models. We're like doing all the language models for Kazakh, for Hindi, you know, because all of these cultures are very different, and they all have different taboos. They all have different issues that they're kind of concerned about. And in that kind of work, we've learned a lot about the right way to do things, and the right way to kind of separate these things out. So I think this is, you know, it's a big deal for governments. So I think that's it's helped us move forward.
Right. Thanks, Andrew. And Adnan, when we talk about space-based communication, you know, AI is potentially going to be deployed all over the world. In remote areas, you might be wanting to use AI applications. Can you talk a little bit about how you see, you know, satellites and space-based systems potentially helping provide that connectivity, the ability to have intelligence sort of on demand everywhere in the world, which you might not actually be able to do right now because you need to have a good internet connection often to use this technology.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first thing is just to put it into context. If we look at the terrestrial connectivity today, so when I say terrestrial connectivity, we're talking about towers and fiber. This covers about maybe 20% of the Earth's surface. The remaining 80% is not served by any terrestrial connectivity. So the only feasible way to connect that is really to use satellites. So what we're doing at Space 42, we're deploying many assets, satellites and other vehicles to bridge this connectivity divide. We have assets in the GeoBelt, which is approximately 36,000 kilometers above Earth. We have assets in the LEO belt, approximately 1,000 kilometers, and assets in the stratosphere, approximately 20 kilometers. These systems are very complex, and they have very limited resources. I mean, when you're deploying assets into space, you have limited power, you have limited thermal dissipation, you have limited coverage, and the way that we make our systems more efficient is by making them extremely complex, but to enable that complexity, really you need AI. So AI can extract a lot more from a set number of resources in space than you can without the AI. That is a clear differentiator. It's a competitive advantage. It results in better services for our customers. It results in better profitability for our company. And you know, it serves our partners in a much better way. And the last thing I'd like to say as well is, I talked about making sure we connect the 80% that's not covered. But even within the 20% that is covered, are you really, I mean, is it wise for us to rely on a single mode of communication, as in terrestrial fiber, et cetera? I mean, what happens when submarine cables are cut? What happens when natural disasters occur? I think this is where space and AI really can make a big difference.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That's fascinating. Gentlemen, I'm afraid we're out of time. Your Excellency, we're out of time. But thank you very much for joining us today, and thank you all for listening. It's been a fantastic discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Gents.
What if artificial intelligence flowed as freely as electricity, ready whenever we need it? To make that possible, we are building the Intelligence Grid, an interconnected fabric of compute,